Is there anything that's like constantly on your mind? You're always thinking about it, or it's always just in the back of your head. It's always just like a burden on you, or something you're excited about as well. And you just you want to focus on other things, but you're always just thinking about that. Write it down, journal about it. That's what today's episode is about, journaling. Journaling is literally the best thing you can do. Since I started journaling, everything in my life has gotten so much better. And when things do get worse, journaling improves them. I had something a few days ago. It was pretty bad. I was losing sleep over this. I was just feeling down and depressed. I couldn't sleep, and I tried several methods. I tried just cheering myself up with music. I tried just eating. Cold shower helped. But the thing that actually pulled me out of that depressed state and cheered me up was journaling. I just started writing, and all my thoughts vomited onto a paper. They were out of my head. They were on that paper. As I was journaling, I got some clarity on it. I realized this isn't something I should be as worried about as I am. And that can work with you too. It doesn't have to be a problem. It doesn't have to be something you're losing sleep over or something that's just like a burden on your mind. It can be just like an idea that you have. And once you write it down, it can transform into something huge. You might be asking, how do I journal? How do I do that? It's really simple. There's no complicated stuff you have to do. You'll hear these things online that start with the very beginning of your day, that you have to write about your day, and you have to go through these lists of different things. You have to make bullet points. You leave margins to the left. You don't have to do any of that. Literally just start writing. It's that simple. You start writing with what's on your mind. And if you don't know what to write, well, you can start with your day. You can just go through the events that have happened in your day or in your week, or just what's been on your mind recently. Also, don't worry about saving space. If you're thinking about how long do my journals need to be? If it's only a couple sentences, I should keep writing, right? Or I've written a whole page. I don't need to keep writing. To put it very simply, just keep writing until you're done. You'll know when you are. It's all just about getting what's in your mind onto paper and getting that mental clarity that you need in your life. Another thing you might hear about keeping a journal is, I want to keep a journal every day so that I can look back and read back on my journals and I can remember stuff. That's not the point of journaling. The point of journaling is to get your thoughts out and to really get introspective about yourself. I heard a pretty famous YouTuber, you guys might have heard of him, his name's Hamza. He said, write for the writer, not for the reader. You're not writing this to read back on it in the future. You're not writing this so that some historian in the future will look at your life and be like, oh wow, that's like Anne Frank, but in the 21st century. No, that's not what you're doing. You're doing this for yourself. Nobody else is going to read your journal because nobody else cares enough to do that, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think I would read anybody else's journal. I've got enough going on in my life. Why would I need to? So really just be honest. Just be brutally honest with yourself. Because if you're sugarcoating everything, it's self-improvement. That doesn't work. You have to be completely honest with yourself in order to get anything done. Another thing that journaling helps you with is if you need to get something done and you don't know where to start, just start writing it down. Just start writing what you need to get done and then start writing the process of what you need to do. And it doesn't have to be in order. Just write down, okay, so I need to clean my room. What do I need to do first? Well, I probably need to clean up the floor. What do I need to do as well? What other things do I need to do? You can break it down in writing better than you might be able to in your head. And you can also refer back to that list of things that you need to do in order to accomplish this task. Just over a week ago, I turned 18, and I was really scared about that. Just 18 is kind of a big thing. Like, you're an adult once you turn 18. And my whole life I was like, oh, I'm just a child. I don't have all the adult responsibilities yet. But it started to become real once I saw that number coming up. And the night before I turned 18, I wrote like 2 whole pages, just like looking back at my life, what I've accomplished, and how I am not as unprepared as I think I might be for adulthood. Like, I thought, man, I'm going to be an adult. That's pretty scary. I'm not ready for that. But once I started writing about it, once I started really reflecting on this and reflecting on what I was so worried about in the first place, it really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. I'm going to get real with you guys. I've been journaling every single day for the past 7 months. And nobody told me to start. I had just kind of thought about it, and I realized I need to write this down. It was a really strong emotion. I was feeling a lot of stuff at once about certain things in my life, and I didn't feel like I could go to anybody to talk about it. Like, I couldn't talk to my parents about this because it was pretty private. I couldn't talk to my friends about this. And I couldn't talk to my brother about this. I didn't have anyone to talk to, which is what I usually did when I came across like problems like this. I would talk to somebody about it, and that would solve it. But for this particular thing, I didn't feel comfortable talking to people about it. So I just started writing, and that's when I started journaling, was last summer. And I've been journaling every single day since, and it has improved my life so much. Honestly, I think it's the most important thing that I've done in my entire self-improvement journey. And that's why I'm being so persistent about this. Journaling is the healthiest way to get out extreme emotions. Just like when I started journaling, you can start by just writing about what's going on, why you're so sad, why you're angry at someone, why you may not like where your life is right now. Just start writing about it. And I promise you, it will help you solve it. It's not going to be the sole thing that does it, but it definitely gives you clarity on what you can do to improve that, what you can do to help yourself in your situation. And I think that's powerful. Besides the mental clarity that I've been talking about pretty much this entire time, there's a ton of like actual proven scientific benefits to journaling. I'm going to list some of those off right now. It helps strengthen memory, obviously, because you're writing about what you've been thinking about so you can remember it better. And if you're journaling about your day, then you also remember your day a lot better because you're looking back at it and you're thinking about every single thing that happened. It reduces stress and anxiety. I was talking about that thing a couple days ago where nothing else helped until I started journaling. Honestly, journaling got rid of all that anxiety that I was feeling at that point. I woke up feeling awful, and I tried a bunch of different things, but journaling is what fixed it. That's what got rid of that stress and that anxiety. It helps you to gain self-confidence. When you're getting introspective about yourself, you start to realize, I'm pretty good at some stuff. I may not be the best at other things, but I'm still pretty good at some stuff. And I did pretty good in those things today. Even if I may often focus on the bad parts of the day, there were some really good parts. And that was me. And that's powerful. Self-confidence is the most powerful thing in the world. Businessmen, they have to have self-confidence. They have to be confident in what they're doing. Because if they're not, nobody's gonna trust them. Nobody's gonna believe in them. So building your self-confidence can fix your life. And journaling helps with that. It can help you find inspiration. I talked about those ideas that you have in your head, but you haven't necessarily thought about more. Getting it onto paper and starting writing about what you're gonna do, or the details of the business that you're thinking of starting, how you're gonna improve your life, and how you're going to get that stuff done that's been on your mind for a while, but you just never really thought extra into it. It helps track your progress and growth. I know that for a fact because journaling at the beginning, I was just like journaling about, I feel really horrible right now. Then as time went on, I began to journal about what I wanted to do. And eventually, I journaled about this channel. I journaled about you guys and how I want to make a difference and the steps I went to go about that. And journaling helped me to realize the setting change that was necessary. The library wasn't fit for this channel. I like being here with you guys personally in my room a lot more than being in the library. And it seems to me that you guys like that more as well, because the videos that have been filmed here have done a lot better than the videos that were filmed at the library. It can help you achieve those goals. Tracking your progress and seeing how much you've improved motivates you to keep going. And also, when you're journaling about what you want to do, you begin to get that mindset of like, this is actually possible. I could do this. I just need to start. And that helps you to actually achieve those goals. And it helps improve your writing and communication skills. When you're writing every single day, you begin to just like develop a better language, better vocabulary, better all of that. And it helps you to communicate exactly what you want because you've thought more about exactly what you want. And that involves your skills with talking to other people as well. It's not just about writing, it's about your speaking skills as well. Because when you form sentences when you're writing, that helps you to form sentences when you're talking as well. And I've noticed a lot more recently that people stumble on their words a lot. I do it a lot as well. It's not exclusive. But since I've started journaling, it's happened a lot less. I want to show you guys an example. I'm going to show you one of my journals from the other day. Let's show the journal of the day before my 18th birthday. So, here, I'll just probably put that in editing. But there's that page. And then the next page, right there. That's how much I wrote about turning 18. So I started by talking about my day. I started by talking about how I swam some laps and I went to the beach. And then I went into the adults only hot tub, even though I was still 17. And I turned 18 the next day. Who cares? I was the only one in there. But it was just, they had two hot tubs for some reason. They had like a normal one, and then they had the adults, the 18 plus one, which the only difference was that the normal one was like barely warmer than the pool, and the adults only one was like boiling hot. Now, I obviously wanted to go into the boiling hot one. Plus, it said adults only. And I was like, you know what? I'm an adult tomorrow. I'm going in there. Then we went and played ping pong, played chess, went out to dinner, went to this restaurant that was way too expensive for what they offered. I asked for fry sauce, and apparently that's not a thing outside Utah because this was in California. One of my friends asked if me and my brother wanted to hang out, and we decided to mess with him, and we were like, yeah, we could go to the beach or something. And I even sent him my location, which is in California. He's like, see you in 10 hours or whatever. But he still showed up at my house, and he was met with my perplexed other brother that was like, yeah, they're in California right now. It was just hilarious. And he sent this super long text, which is the funniest thing I've ever read. Then we watched some TV, and I kind of looked back on my B-reels that I took over the past year. Then I went into the introspective part. I journaled about my day, and then I went into the deeper part that was like on my mind. That I'm freaking turning 18 tomorrow. Like, what have I done with my life? I've traveled. I guess I've found some passions in like filming and stuff. Built my social skills. And then I went into like what my specialties really are. I went into like, what have I done with my life? And what am I truly proud of? And like, I've accomplished plenty in my life, but what I'm really proud of is the connections that I've made. That's the thing that I'm most proud of. That's my thing. I have I have really good listening skills, and I've had a lot of friends that just like talking to me. And that's my favorite thing about myself. And I reflected on that. I reflected on my biggest skill, my favorite thing that I've done is getting a lot of people to open up to me and tell me things that they really aren't comfortable telling anybody else. And I don't know if I have like a special power of doing that, but I've gotten a lot of people to open up. And I really like that. And I've gained so much respect for them after hearing their stories. And also the fact that they're comfortable telling me that stuff. It really does increase your bond so much. And I just thought about how turning 18 is kind of scary, but it's also really exciting. Like, think of all the possibilities. Nobody's gonna trust you when you say you're a 17-year-old, but when you're 18, when you're older, it means a lot. It means a lot more. I said, think about the opportunities. The possibilities are endless. And I never would have said that if I was just like thinking to myself, if I was just like awake in my bed, just like not able to fall asleep because I was scared of turning 18, I wouldn't have realized that being an adult really isn't that bad. It's not huge. It's just, it feels no different from being 17, honestly. I don't know why I was so scared, but at the same time, it's pretty exciting. I'm excited for all the opportunities I'm going to have. Wow, that was really cheesy. But there's an example of how I journal. I typically start with my day, and then I go into what's really on my mind. It could be something from that day. It could be something that's just been on my mind a lot recently. And that's really all I've got for you. A couple tips for when you are journaling. If you really want to get into the specifics about the format, I typically write a title at the top of my journal, at the top of the page when I start my journal. I didn't do it with that one, but I've had a lot in the past. I'll show some of those titles on screen right now. And also, at the end, I typically write some takeaways. I also didn't do that with this journal. Wow, why did I pick this as an example? But just know that it's not going to be perfect. It doesn't have to be. It just has to be you getting your thoughts out. And nobody's going to read it. Write for the writer, not for the reader. Remember that. Now, I'm going to end this off with a quote and a challenge. All right? So the quote from today is from Louis L'Amour. He's a great author. I would highly recommend some of his books. The quote is, "Start writing no matter what. The water does not flow until the faucet is turned on." I've said this so many times in this episode, but I'm going to say it again. Just start writing. Write until you're done, and you'll know when you're done. But once you start writing, the thoughts that come out of that, the introspection that you have on yourself when you're writing is completely different from what you can just have in the shower. Like the shower thoughts that you have, it's that on steroids. Don't take steroids. Why did I have to say that? There's nothing you can do that's better than writing. And the challenge for this episode is to write in your journal every day for the next week, at least the next week. I would highly recommend to keep that habit up, but do it every single day for the next week. Doesn't have to be long. It can even just be a couple sentences. But do it every single day. Get that mental clarity before you go to sleep. I really do believe that journaling is the most important part of your self-improvement journey. And honestly, it was the most important part of my self-improvement journey as well. Journaling is actually the best thing you can do for yourself. Journaling will really help you to be something more. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you again next week. All right. Cheers.